Hi, it's Nikita. I was going to do a reading for Leo season because obviously it starts later on today. But I kind of thought a lot of people doing readings for Leo season. And then kind of one of the cards fell out of the deck, which represents a Leo in a very much way. This and the Strength card. But what I wanted to talk about briefly here is notice the colours. This is a Morgan Greer deck. This is very typical. Morgan Greer deck, really, to me, captures that fire energy, especially when it comes to Leo. And this is kind of a very much the sunflowers, meaning it's very open. Like children, children are very open. You ask them a question, they tend to give you an answer, whether you like it or not. The sunflower moves towards the sun, it gravitates towards the sun. And you can see that very much in a lot of Leos. They will gravitate towards something that is open and joyful and fun. And obviously, when you're out in the sun, it feels like that. Yellow and orange also. Now, if you look from a energetic point of view, yellow connects to your solar plexus. So that is the I am. That is your willpower. It's linked to your mental subtle body. So there is a lot of who are you? And bear in mind the sun itself, who is ruler of Leo, is about your identity. Who are you at your core? And yellow is very vibrant. It very much connects to creativity, but also there's an expression connecting to the mental body. There is this kind of how do you express yourself? And if you look at the oranges also associated with Leo, then you look at the sacral chakra. Now that is connected to your emotional body, and now it doesn't seem like an exact fit lots of times, but if you think about it also links to your reproductive organs as well. So in your physical body, in your subtle body, it links to your emotional body. And I think it's a reminder of how connected certain things are. There is this, we've just come from Cancer season, and there's a lot of people like, oh, Cancer is too hard to deal with, it's too overly sensitive, and they cry a lot and they do all these. But they're very in touch with their own emotions. Now, it doesn't mean other signs aren't. And I think we have to remember with Leo that it does. A temper tantrum is a very Leo thing. It's not so much a Cancerian thing. But when you see a kid, when he's having a temper tantrum, usually when they're around the terrible twos, usually it's because they can't express themselves. They've got a feeling, they don't actually know how to express that. So they know they want to, kids tend to express themselves in a way that they kind of deem suitable at that time, which is very different to a way an adult goes, okay, well, this is how we should deal with it. A kid is like, I'm angry now, I'm frustrated now. So often a terrible twos is, I'm angry or I'm frustrated, I can't express myself, which I think is perfect for a Leo season, is because you're expressing what is natural to you, so therefore I can connect it to the emotional body, because being that connected to, and red still, orange is still quite a fiery colour, still connected to those emotions and wanting to express those in a way, not just the watery emotions. I'm talking about the kind of, I've overused fiery, but the anger, the frustration, that kind of, and to me the best way to express that is when you see a toddler get into a temper tantrum. So it is the season to get hot and bothered, because obviously it's another reason why people anger flares. People get hot and bothered, and they then express their anger in a way. You'll see it on transport, especially since it's going to be hot in the UK the next day, a few days, and it's hot in Europe. So you'll find people have temper tantrums. They won't be called temper tantrums, but it's very much that they're just frustrated. The trains are warm, everyone's too hot, and hot and bothered is another way. So there is this, Leo gives us the opportunity to go and play and do something joyful. But it is also very good at showing you when it's frustrated, showing you when it's not happy. And you do need to let that out. And if you've never had a temper tantrum as an adult or ever, you should do, because it really is. There's a lot of shamanistic work that kind of is a very similar kind of thing, where it gets you to act that out. You're allowed to express when you're frustrated. You're allowed to express when you're angry. You're allowed to frustrate. You're allowed to express when you're bothered by something, and that's the other side. So a lot of people are going to be telling you about Leo season, about all the kind of beautiful, joyous things of Leo, and I'm very Leo myself. I do agree with that, but there is also the other sense of it's okay to be, not so happy with, and express that, and understand that this is, what is your core identity? What is, I know people say the inner child, and I think I'm loath to use that, but what do you want to do? Especially when the sun's shining and you're sitting in an office, and say, what do you want to get out? Get out for 10 minutes. No one's going to miss you if you go out for 10 minutes. You go and get just the sun, and then come back in, and it will stop some of that frustration. Enjoy the rays of the sun. And just in this season, it's about time getting back to who you are as your core identity. And sometimes we need to shed some of the other adult behaviour that we've learned to restrain ourselves and be stoic and be all these words that really say not be yourself because it's inappropriate. And this energy is very playful. It is inappropriate. If you've ever hung with kids, they are inappropriate, but only because they are asking and they're expressing themselves in a way that actually they want to at that moment. And we have to remember that we shouldn't always just suppress things. And in some ways it's easier in Cancer season to cry and show tears and show that vulnerability, but actually we're not allowed to get angry and frustrated. People's reaction, they act to, the way they act to us. But try and do something creative, because that's another way to channel it. Like dance is it's a very Leo thing. And it's also very Aries, very fiery thing actually, movement. But yeah, express yourself through dance, through art and crafts. What are you going to do to express that creative energy? Go and play in the sun, go and read in the sun, go and enjoy yourself. But it's really thinking about how the sun affects us, because when you're out in the sun and you feel those warm rays, you tend to feel just happier. You could just, it doesn't mean that you have to be on holiday. That's why holidays you like it, because it's the feeling of relaxing under the sun. So just try and capture this for this season. Remember that it's not just the kind of the creative, playful side. Express the other side of yourself when you're not happy. Allow yourself to do that. Try and channel it, not on the tube or anything like that. Try and remember what it is you're getting frustrated at. It is linked to your solar plexus. Do wear yellow. I'm not wearing yellow today. I thought about it. I didn't have anything yellow to wear today anyway. Yellow, orange, any of those bright colours where you have to be seen. Because I've been talking a lot about power, but also being seen is powerful. Being bold is powerful. And yellow and orange are very bold colours. So why don't you take the time to think about how you're going to in this season, and don't just use it for Leo season, use it elsewhere. Going to kind of take that energy on board and express it. Anyway, that's my message today.